O Lord, by whose manifold grace all things work together for good to them that love thee, establish, we pray thee, the things that thou hast wrought in us, and make the school a field the Lord has blessed, that whatsoever things are true, pure, lovely, and of good report, may here forever flourish and abound. Preserve in it an unblemished name, enlarge it with a wider usefulness, and exalt it with the love and reverence of all its members, as an instrument of thy glory. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. And then we'll take the school song. I think we can unmute. I don't think you people want to hear only my voice. So pass on the torch, still brightly gleaming. Pass on
Pass on the
the
hope
hopes, the
and a stream into
those who follow
close at hand.
pass on the field of learning,
Asunder
the secret in most yearning,
And in that they may be
field where
where
we
we have
have found.
found.
Pass
Pass
on
Asunder
on
the sweet,
songs,
pass
pass
on
on the
the
laughter,
laughter, pass
pass
on
on
the
the joy
joy that
that
the
others are.
that may tread more lightly on their way. Pass on the faith that naught can alter. Pass on the thankless they should falter. In our stress some future day. Pass on the firm determination to guide a later generation by gentle influence in the home. Pass on the health, the youthful vigor, pass on the love
that can
that
transfigure
we go the darkest
his eyes that
past that yet may come. Past on
the touch the
the
bright inspired
inspiring unites us here in hopes untiring, in bronze no future yet.
can
And
Ever
forever we
we
fall.
forward press, not backward turning, that is our torch more brightly burning. May it
Yes,
pass on
pass on
and
and on
forever.
forever.
Thank you. So, welcome our first speaker, Mrs. Lebari Upong. Lebari is a very good friend of mine and my client. She's my client. I'm her client. We've um, we've had a relationship for many years, and she's very experienced in this area. I was telling Ayo Onokoya that she guided my daughter and I when about 5 years ago now, when she was preparing to go to school in the US, and she's flourishing there, if I may say so. And a lot of the things that Lebari will be talking about today, I wish that I'd known much earlier. A lot of them I came to know at the time when we were ready to apply to go to school. And were late with a few things. As I told her, my daughter swam competitively. She swam for her school in Lagos State competitions and swam for Lagos State. And then she swam at for Equity Club at an international competition in Germany several times. But by the time we were applying to go to school in the US, she had become a teenager and she really didn't want to do that swimming again. She had lost a year of the intensive training that was required to make all that time. And honestly, I was tired as well. But if we had known that it could have such an impact on our applications, maybe we would have worked harder, kept at it for a long time, for a little longer. So I'm glad we have her here. And this session is going to be recorded. So it will be, many more people will be able to listen to it after. I'll just read Lebari's short profile before I welcome her to speak. Lebari Edo-Ukpong leads the Inside Edge Limited team, a lawyer who worked at the British Deputy High Commission, Lagos for 10 years as a trade development manager, developing Britain's economic interest in Nigeria. Lebari advised and produced tailored reports for British and Nigerian businesses and governments and organized programs to support bilateral trade through clinic sessions, seminars, and exhibitions in the UK, Egypt, France, UAE, not only to businesses, but the UK and the Nigerian government officials. In 2006, Lebari changed her career from business development to education as the director of the London Metropolitan University Nigeria office and was responsible for complete operations, including marketing, students, admissions, and visas. She also advised faculties on curriculum and established links and collaborations with Nigerian institutions and professional bodies. Lebari initiated and managed an effective high-profile scholarship program and also sat on several scholarship interview panels, including the UK Chevening Scholarship. Lebari is a certified 60seconds.org emotional intelligence assessor, facilitator, educator, and life coach. In June 2014, Lebari started Inside Edge Limited, which now represents schools and universities in the UK, France, Ireland, USA, Switzerland, France, and Canada, and has worked with over 1,200 students to get the best fit education. She regularly speaks at events and seminars on intentional parenting, enhancing students' potential, preparing students for scholarships, for scholarship options after secondary school, emotional intelligence. Lebari also designs and delivers transformational emotional quotient programs. I guess that's what it is, EQ. Is that what EQ is?
Yes.
Yes, emotional quotient programs for social and emotional learning, for teachers, growth mindset, for teachers, growth mindset, and optimism for optimal performance. Please welcome Lebari Ukpong this morning. Thank you, Lebari.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here. But I am conscious that I have 15 minutes, so I'll get straight into it.
Oh, I think we.
Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
So, okay. So I'll get straight into it. Scholarships, right? I can start and end this presentation just on this page. Everybody wants a secondary schools in Nigeria. And each school has 5 students that makes straight A's, because everybody assumes that to get your scholarship, you need straight A's. So there are 5 students that make straight A's. So that makes 25,000 students in Nigeria. That's a very conservative figure. There are not, so that's only 25,000 from Nigeria. Now think about the whole world. Every country, every student is looking for scholarship. So what then sets you apart from other students? So if I was doing a session, we would spend almost 30 minutes here because there's so much learning to do here. So I start with an assignment for every student. Be able to list out 3 reasons why you want a scholarship, and let one of the reasons not be on finance. Just 3 other reasons why you want a scholarship apart from finance. Then what sets you apart from other students? I would like 5 reasons from that. And if any student sits down and does this assignment, it will give you a very good view of where you stand if you're honest with yourself. Getting a scholarship, it's all about intentionality. As Bimbo mentioned, she came when her daughter was ready to apply. I have been encouraging students and parents to come from what we call SS1 or the long vacation of JS3. You need to start on time to prepare. Students in other countries, especially developed countries, from very early on, the parents decide what they want with the children and they start making plans. So you need to be intentional about it. And intentionality is basically putting yourself out there. I speak to even students who are doing their masters, and they don't even appreciate the value of what they experience through university or even through secondary school. So in secondary school, it's compulsory to take 2 extracurricular activities and students just go and attend them. But what part did you play in that extracurricular activity? What value did you bring to the group? What value do you add to your school? What value do you add in your hostel? And these can be very little things. But if you're intentional, you can pick out those little things and turn them into
Lebari, can you speak
some,
up, please? A little bit more.
something that would add value to your CV or to your skills. So students should be ready to take risk, and this risk is a safe risk of stepping out of their comfort zone. And we help students with this through a mindset shift, because a lot of times students have limiting beliefs. They cannot do this, they're not good enough, or they're not social enough. So with a mindset shift, they're able to take that risk. It could be an intellectual risk of studying beyond what your curriculum offers, of studying a new language. Chinese is very popular now. And there's so much, a plethora of information and things you can get your hands easily on once you're on the internet. Students need to putting themselves out there also involves doing something bigger than themselves. It's very easy for all of us to complain about our society or our community, be it if we're in school or at work or wherever we are. But how about we pick one thing, one little thing, and decide to change and change that thing? That is doing something bigger than yourself. And this will be reflected in your scholarship application. We also need to be able to spot and grab opportunities. Opportunities are abound all over, right? We once attended a scholarship preparation for students, and most of these students came from very upper middle class families. And they were worried because the Nigerian students that were there were all from very rich homes. But the students from other countries were from some refugee camps, some from very poor homes. And the scholarship manager told us, it really doesn't matter what your position in life is. What matters is where you are. What opportunities have you been able to identify, grab, and make a change? So a rich child in Nigeria who has never entered a bus, who has never been anywhere on their own, it's not a problem. At home, that area of influence they have, what are they able to do or achieve? Are they able to change? Who are they in the family? Are they the organizers? Are they the interior decorator? Are they the cook? Are they the supports for the younger ones? There are always opportunities. Once 2 or 3 people interact, there are opportunities. So even in church service or youth youth service, there's always an opportunity. Another important thing is do not put yourself in a box. Putting yourself in a box means there's no way out. You're stuck there and it's difficult. So don't think, oh, you judge yourself as being good in only one thing and sticking to that thing. That wouldn't work. So one advice from me is life is not linear. We don't expect it to be, I finish school, I get married, I finish university, I get a job, 2 years after I get married and live life happily ever after. It's not like that. I understand we have 2020 graduates here. So what have you done this year? What have you achieved? Any scholarship interview panel will be more interested in what you have done this year more than even what you've done in secondary school. Academics is a given. So I've had students who are B students, not necessarily A students, B students who are able to get fantastic scholarships because within the 1 year that they took out as gap year or whilst they were in school, they were able to do interesting, challenging, intellectual or physical or learn a new skill. They were able to do that. So another thing would be take chances and try and go to places no one has ever been. You are unique. You're not, once your mold was created, it was destroyed. So don't try to be any other person. Just be yourself. You are enough as you are. There's no need for you to be like any other person. So scholarship requirements, basically your application, academics are important, but I must stress that it is not only A students that get scholarships. A B student can get scholarship. Not everybody is good at exams, and universities realize that, or schools realize that. So, but yeah, academics opens the door for you to get onto the panel. But beyond when it comes to the interview or to your essays, where you specifically state what you have been doing and what you have achieved over time, it's experience. It's not academics. Because a lot of times, some students who are just straight A's are very straight laced. And nobody wants that. Schools, especially when they're giving scholarship, they want to be able to encourage the next leader. They want people who will be good ambassadors for their schools. And how do you show this? You can only show it through your essays. You can only show it through your life experiences. And those essays are going to show how you think, how your thoughts affect your feelings, and how those feelings affect your actions. And the last one is references. People take that for granted. A school counselor is going to write my reference. If a school counselor just writes your reference, it's going to look like every other reference. You have to be able to present your school counselor with information about yourself and your achievements so that it's personal to you and it's different. For all these requirements, I can spend at least 30 minutes on each area. So, but as a student, you have to concentrate. Your academics is a given. Your essays, how do you portray yourself and your achievements in your essays? Very important. Your references, your recommendations, how do you get this? Very important. And you cannot do it in, it's difficult to do it in just your last year of preparing for university. It's something you have to start early. So you tell a story, even if you're a B student or even if you're a C student, and you're able to show growth, that from C you've grown up to A. Everybody wants that sort of student because life will throw you curveballs, there'll be bombs, but how are you able to get over those bombs and still focus and get to where you want to be? That's what is interesting to schools. Now, for this particular page, I always takes about 30% of your scholarship application, depending on what country you're going to. And you have to use anecdotes, which are short stories, to show that you are actually a good candidate for scholarship. So for my students, they have to be able to pick at least every essay they write has to reflect at least 3 of these qualities. How can you show you're an eager learner or you're responsible? How do you show your self-awareness and confidence? You know, a lot of students do not know how to show this. They go through school thinking, well, I haven't done anything, but through a process, they're able to look at the activities they have done and what they have learned and achieved through those activities. Because life, we learn every day. But unfortunately, schools are so straight-laced, and really they have a curriculum to follow, and it's difficult to look at the other side of learning beyond the classroom, learning beyond the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3, right? So an easy one for every student is social service. In school, in your community, what have you done to help? What have you done to be part of the solution rather than just complain about the problem? Then resilience is a big one. Every school wants to see a student that is resilient, that can overcome challenges, that can learn from failure and see failure as just the first attempt in learning. We all know of Thomas Bell and how many times he tried. At least he learned one thing. He learned that there are over 99 reasons, there are 99 different ways of not starting or creating a light bulb. So I'm going to round up now. I don't know how many minutes I have left, Bimbo. I can't hear you. You're muted.
I'm sorry, I didn't check it when we started. So maybe take another 5 minutes. No, you can't.
Okay.
Thank you.
So here I would round up with some common mistakes students make, focusing on brand name and ranking. That is such a serious mistake. From the beginning, I make my students write what they want in a university, because it is about you. It's not about the university. It's about your career goals. It's about your personal goals, what you want to achieve. And then what university, what academic program, what financial level, what campus style, how does that fit into your career objectives? There's no need fixing yourself into a scholarship program and everything else in that school does not fit who you are. So it's about time students realize that they are the important ones. After secondary school, you are now in the driver's seat and it's about you, not about the school. So focusing on brand name and ranking by parents and students, it's a huge mistake. Focus on the school that meets your needs, whatever that is. Focusing too much on academics. Academics are important, but there's so much more to life than the A's. There's so much more to achieve. There's so much more to give than the A's. For parents who are here, especially, being a helicopter parent, just put a bulb and a searchlight on that student, on that child, so they cannot go anywhere. How can they learn if they do not fail? How can they grow if they do not try it for themselves? We all know that we learn better when we do things for ourselves. So please, micromanaging a student's life is a no-no. Expecting life to be linear, I already said that before. And for parents who are living through the child, I get that so many times. Parents who miss the opportunities to be a medical doctor or lawyer. And so the child would need to live up to that expectation. Flex is, like when we flex our muscles or when you feel you're cool or all that. So there's a whole, putting it simply, is find your voice. Your voice is who you are. Your voice is
1 minute more.
What makes you tick, what makes you move, right? Learn a new skill. There's no skill, no opportunity, no experience that is useless. You can learn from everything. So learn a new skill. Enter a community, not just be in that community, but be an integral and important part of that community. And if you're trying something new, experiment for 100 days. I couldn't find any word for X, but so experiment for 100 days. And I'll leave this here, but and round up with every school has scholarship opportunities. And I'd like you to look at this website, afterschoolafrica.com. They have a list of scholarships that are available in Nigeria, both from a lot of the oil companies, the federal government, the state government. And please, let's remove that notion from our minds that you can only get it if you know somebody. I know several people who have made applications to their state government without making any phone calls, and they got the scholarship. You just have to believe that the world is set up to help you and assist you, but you have to take that step. You cannot leave it for any other person to do. So stay grounded, start as early as possible, and then make a winning application. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lebari. I have so many points that I've jotted down, and I don't have any children going to uni, but I feel that there are even parts of this presentation that would benefit us in everyday life. Learn something new, try out what is new that you have learned, be an integral part of your community. There's so many things that I've taken away. Thank you so much. You'll be coming back for the question and answer session. Now, would like to welcome Sylvie. She's here now. And I'll be sharing my screen again. Welcome, Sylvie. Can you hear us? Sylvie, can you hear us?
Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Just read your short bio before you start.
Probably I should turn on my video for a bit because I think since I came in, I haven't. So at least y'all can see who is talking to y'all.
Yes.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. So Sylvie is a fellow of the Clinton Global Initiative, Global Scholarships Consultant. She's a founder, speaker, a YouTuber, and PhD holder, and a fellow as well. Sylvie has been granted several scholarships: Japanese government scholarship, Mandela Washington Fellowship. She's a third runner-up. Yale Citizen Journalism Fellowship, Clinton Global Initiative University Award. So she comes with a wealth of experience and information that would help us. Welcome, Sylvie. Please go ahead.
All right. Okay. Can I share my screen?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let me just give me a moment. Let me share my screen. Where do I share the screen? Oh wow, this is how long ago I worked on Zoom. Please just give me a moment. Let me see. Am I given like the ability to share my screen because I'm not a co-host, right? Like
she doesn't have the ability. You have disabled the screen sharing. So you have to go to share screen and click the multiple screen sharing.
She can share her screen, Winifred.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. It says disabled here.
Let me see. Screen. Okay, share screen. Let me see. Okay, this is all right. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. I am. Okay. How do I get to this? Where's the section to present? So is it okay now? Can you see it clearly?
Yes, we can.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you guys so much for having me. My name is Sylvie, and I am the founder of learnhowtogetascholarship.com. And learnhowtogetascholarship.com is a website where we curate scholarships for international students. And I started curating scholarships for international students in 2015. And this just came out of the need. I used to work in radio. So after getting my scholarship, so many people around who knew me and knew what I used to do knew that I had to go abroad because I had a scholarship. So they always reached out to me, parents, like, how can we get their child to study? So it became something that I did as a passion project, and I did it on the side. But as time went by, of course, life abroad gets in the way and then you get busy. So I wasn't able to do that. So that is how I got to creating learnhowtogetascholarship.com, because that was where I curated all scholarships, and then I could have time to do whatever else that I was doing. So I have been doing that now. I have a team that I work with. So I'm really, really happy to have this first session talking to you all about studying abroad through scholarships. So my name is Sylvie Watikum, and just as they read in the bio, I've gotten quite a number of scholarships over the years. So I'm just going to be telling you all about it. I was listening to the presentation before, and I think that it is really spot on. It is really, like, she was really, I think Mrs. Lebari, I don't hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. She was really spot on in the explanation of, like, the things, the do's and the don'ts of it. So let's just get into it. So as students, the questions that I want you to ask yourself is why? Why do you want to study abroad? And secondly, where do you want to study abroad? How do you study abroad? And what should you do next? So I just want to make sure that I give you all, like, an overview of it, and also, like, what you can do from today, what you can get up today and go do tomorrow in terms of, like, getting scholarships, studying abroad and things like that. So why study abroad? First, I was born in a small town in Cameroon, and that is all I knew. My little town, my school, my church, and that entire community. Yes, I saw the world through the eyes of the television set, as well as through the eyes of posters and all of those cards that you receive. But it is different when you go abroad in order to experience those things by yourself. You find yourself in an environment with students from various parts of the world. And what that happens is that it gives you a mind shift. It gives you a mind shift on the way you see the world, the way you understand things, the way you approach problem solving, being extremely involved, as well as learning how to be a good listener when you meet people from other parts of the world, as well as being really culturally sensitive to different things. And just know that there is life outside of your little bubble. So that is what studying abroad can really do for you. It also gives you more options in terms of, like, job opportunities. So those are some of the things that can help you. You'll be able to get out and get better connections, because sometimes we always say it is not what you know, it is who you know. So this is going to help you spread out your network, get connected with people that it can really help go a long way in order to help you in terms of, like, the job opportunities. Then the last thing about why is finding who you are. When you go to a foreign country, especially when you go there all by yourself, you really do not have a community, and you're cut off from everything that you used to know about, like all the things that influenced you to be a person, influenced you to be a particular being. And all the social things, like your parents, your friends, your church, all those neighborhood things that made you be the person you are. When you are taken out of that situation and you are in a place all by yourself, you learn to find who you are. Who are you when every other thing is cut off? Do you go left? Do you go right? What do you stand for? What kind of a person are you? You're able to find yourself. You're able to find your voice in that foreign land where you do not really know many people, especially if you go to a country where the language you're not very familiar with, the culture you're not familiar with, and you have to somehow survive in that place. So that is why studying abroad can really go a long way in order to help you find who you are. So where can you study? I want you all to think about it as anywhere in the world. In this entire globe, I know that I have been curating scholarships for international students. I speak with students all the time, and most students say, I want to go study in North America, Canada, in the US, Canada, or Australia, or sometimes they are going to mention the UK. Those are like the top famous destination, those English speaking countries where we have like a big community there, where we know the kind of foods that we eat and we already know the language that is spoken there. But I want you all to really think about it as our world is very big. Look at other countries. Someone already mentioned the coming up of China. Look through those other faraway destinations that maybe you did not consider at first. This globe is your oyster. Look to different parts of the world. I recently was talking about a scholarship to Indonesia. You can definitely choose to go to Indonesia to study. Everything may be new to you, but trust me, it is definitely going to be worth it. So please, when you're thinking about scholarships, look at the entire globe and see what part of the world you can go to. All right, so how do you get to do that? You can get to studying abroad through universities, like applying to various universities, a BA, a master's, a PhD program, or you can go for exchange. They have several exchanges between countries, between universities. That is how you can get to go. And doing that, you can do it through scholarships. Scholarships are going to provide you the funding that can go a long way to help you to get that particular study started. I don't know about your situations back home, but if it wasn't for a fully funded scholarship, in my case, I wouldn't have been able to do my master's and PhD for free. So I'm a huge advocate for fully funded scholarships. So let me just tell you a bit about where to find scholarships, because I want you all to take this information, take notes, go ahead and start working on it like as soon as tomorrow, and then see what you can build from there. Scholarship websites, these are primary providers of scholarships. They give you detailed information about whatever it is that you are looking for in terms of the scholarship that you want to apply for. Government websites, these are also primary scholarship providers. University websites, primary scholarship providers. Foundations, primary scholarship providers. Corporations, NGOs, international NGOs, universities, university professors, as well as scholarship curators. Scholarship curators are secondary scholarship providers. And the reason why I say this, I have seen so many students say that, oh, I found this scholarship, but I don't know if it's a scam. So let me just explain to you all. There's a difference between a primary scholarship provider and a secondary scholarship provider. Primary scholarship providers are governments, universities, foundations, corporations, NGOs, international NGOs that provide scholarships. To them, you can apply directly. It is different from scholarship curators. Scholarship curators are people who have blogs, websites, and other things that curate. They go to all of these foundations, university, government websites, they pick up the scholarships and then they put it together and they bring the information to you. When you go to a secondary scholarship provider's website, make sure you always find the link to the original scholarship provider, the link to the primary scholarship provider, and it is to them that you apply for your scholarship. So please always do well to make sure when you help on a website, determine, is it a primary scholarship provider or is it a secondary scholarship provider? Such that all these things that I hear people say, oh, I submitted my essay, but I wasn't sure if it was a scam or something. Please be aware of that, because that is extremely important. So how do you get a scholarship? One, check scholarship websites constantly. I get up every day as I'm taking my breakfast, I check for scholarships. What are the new ones that are available? In what countries are they available? When are students supposed to apply for it? When is the opening starting? When is it closing? When are the required, what is the eligibility criteria? As a student preparing for a scholarship, that is definitely what you should be looking towards. And you should prepare at least 1 year earlier. And I say this a lot, especially to the parents that I work with and their children. We need to start 1 year early. Sometimes we need to start way earlier, especially if the parents are really already grooming the children towards a particular scholarship. We need to start many years earlier, especially going to the next one where I'm going to talk about preparing the test exams that are required. Get organized also when you apply for scholarships. I am a huge advocate for applying to many scholarships, which is my fourth point. But in order to do that, you need to get organized. It's extremely important that you get organized, prepare everything that you're going to need in order to apply for the various scholarships, arrange it in bits and pieces, put which one you're going to be going to next. And if everything else, if you are not able to get through it, work with a professional. There are various professionals. That is what I do. I know tons of professionals in North America, in Europe, in different parts of the world that do this. So in case you're not able to sort through it, work with a professional to help you apply for the scholarships. And what can you do? What should you do today? If you are a student right now, please do it to get your grades up. Please, please, please do it to get your grades up, because at the end of the day, a scholarship, it is that first competition is GPA for GPA, transcript on your transcript, A for A plus. That is what I think in terms of actually academic scholarships, not professional scholarships, not mid-career professional scholarships, just academic scholarships. It comes down to your GPA, your transcripts, and what is it looking like. It gets your foot on the door. And when you're able to get your foot on the door, then you can go through the entire other processes of your research proposal and all the other tests that helps. And this, I'm talking about fully funded scholarships. That is what gets your foot into the door. The second thing is make yourself known to professors. If you all are students in a particular school now and you have different professors, maybe it's many of you in class, what you want to do is make sure that you get your professor to know your name, know your face, especially if it's a big class, know your name, know your face, know that there is this student who always raises her hand, his hand, in order to answer questions. And the good thing about raising your hand to answer questions is that when your professor remembers you, when you come back to him or her asking for a recommendation letter sometime later, because that is always one of the documents that they ask for when you're applying for scholarships, the professor says, yeah, I actually remember you. I remember you. You were this active student in class, and I know something to write about you. Because sometimes you may go to a professor, you were this very docile student in class, and the professor maybe remembers your face, but doesn't remember any specific things about you that they can sell you on, because recommendation letters are extremely important. So if you've always been this student who is very quiet in class, never makes your voice known, never makes your professors know you, please, please, please do well to start doing that and make yourself known to your professors as much as possible. The second thing is start preparing for any important test. And this goes back to my previous slide where I was talking about prepare like 1 year early or earlier than that. When you're able to prepare 1 year early, what happens is that all those tests, for example, if you're to write an IELTS test, we have to look for when is the application in your part of the world? Will you have to take classes in order to prepare for it? Will we have to do test prompts in order to get you ready to going to apply for that? And what scores are we targeting? Because the difference between your scores on all of these tests, it goes a long way to add up to the strength of your application. So please start preparing for this important test as early as possible. And also start volunteering in your community. Most of the people who sometimes talk about like there are other types of scholarships, especially those scholarships that have to do with countries like the US, they look a lot into you, how active are you within your community, how much volunteering have you done, or have you shadow worked like in any kind of like a profession or something, have you shadow worked for people or things like that. So please start volunteering with these things, start doing it. If you're a parent, start getting your children ready to doing all of those things, getting them involved in various things that they can use as a backup to write like an essay. Right now we are in the midst of a pandemic. What is your son, daughter, what are you doing right now throughout this pandemic that is going to make you be like a helpful member of your community? I know people who volunteered like by going around to hospitals in order to provide food. There are people who went to homeless shelters. There are people who donated various things. Those are things that can add up, especially if you're applying for scholarships in North America to write like a good enough essay. And start familiarizing yourself with scholarships. What is the eligibility? When are you required to apply for it? What is the timeline? What are you looking at? What documents do you need? Can you start putting those together as soon as possible? So if you're able to do that, you will definitely be on your way to getting a fully funded scholarship. So thank you guys so much for having me. I hope this was helpful. I hope this helps you in one way or the other to get you ready to apply, or for any parents, it gets your daughter or your son ready to apply for scholarships. Thank you all for having me.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That was very enlightening, very precise. Thank you. Now we'll be going to the question and answer session. I picked up tenacity there. You know, you said every morning you still go online and check what is available. So there's a hard work that comes and consistency that comes with accessing these scholarships. Thank you. Now, can we have questions? If you want to ask a question, you can put your hand up and unmute. Any questions? No questions.
I have a question, ma'am.
Thank you. Oh, excellent. Please go ahead.
Okay, ma'am, I would just like to ask if there are full scholarships for undergraduate courses, because during my scholarship hunt, I discovered that most full scholarships are for postgraduate and doctorate courses. So just like to know if there are full scholarships for undergraduate courses.
Sylvie, would you like to take that question?
Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, there are at the bachelor level. Yes, of course, you're going to see scholarships that will maybe favor specific levels, but no, in terms of, if we are comparing it in terms of numbers, maybe you're going to see more postgraduate scholarships, like let me say grad school, sorry, like master's and PhD. But at the bachelor level, there are tons of scholarships. Like if I look through like my database of scholarships right now, there are tons of scholarships at the bachelor level. And if you just going back to what I said earlier about getting up every day and searching, if you really get up every day and do the work, I do it because like that is what I do. But if you get up every day looking for scholarships at the bachelor level, you can definitely find scholarships. And let me just pulling up my book of scholarships right now. Let me just look through to see what scholarships are. Just give me a moment. Let me see which ones are at the bachelor level, and then I'm going to just give you just a couple of scholarships. Since we don't have a lot of time, I'm just going to give you some scholarships, and then you can now build up from there. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you very much.
All right.
While Sylvie is looking through the scholarship, can I just add to the question that yes, there are several scholarships undergraduate students. I have known of students who got 4 or 5 full scholarships, which included for money for their ticket and included money for the parents to attend graduation. So it's strategy and positioning yourself and being intentional.
Yes.
Nothing is impossible.
Thank you. Winifred, please go ahead.
Okay, so Sylvie, I know I met you on Clubhouse because you do massive outreach on Clubhouse. So we have a couple of students here. I would love you to kind of share that work you do on Clubhouse so that people can.
Actually, let me introduce myself. I'm studying computer engineering.
So I think that we had a hot mic. But anyway, going back to my question, which I have on the chat, really to actually share the work you do. You do a lot of outreach work to support students, because when they're going through this process, there's a lot of coaching and mentoring needed, and it starts with outreach. I would love you to just share the outreach you do on a daily basis to show your diligence. I doff my heart for you on Clubhouse so that they can reach you. That question was for Sylvie.
Thank you. Sylvie?
So yeah, she has a hot mic. I think she was one with a hot mic. Sylvie, you are muted. You are muted, Sylvie.
She's muted. I'm trying to unmute her, but still okay. Sylvie, can you hear us?
She's a very, very busy person. I think she's on Clubhouse right now too as she's doing this. She's dropped off.
Well, I think Lebari answered that question and Sylvie answered as well. By the time she comes back, I'm sure she'll come back with whatever outreaches she does, and she said she's going to support. She's going to put forward 1 or 2 scholarships that she knows of. I know that people do access full scholarships. I have several of my friends' children. Those ones don't even do any sports or anything. They are pure academic scholarships, and they got them at O levels, at undergrad level. Okay, any other questions that maybe Lebari and anybody else could take? Any other questions? I hope Sylvie is able to make it back. Winifred, do you want to contact her?
Let me just share the information so that she's always on Clubhouse. She shares a scholarship a day. She's on Clubhouse. So if you are on Clubhouse is a social media platform that enables you network with each other and share knowledge and information. So if you look for a handle on Clubhouse, just a name, she doesn't go by Sylvie, she goes by CV. So I'm going to share it here. So it's good if you don't want to do the work, just let your work be to go on Clubhouse and just go to her room and her club. And I'll put the details. And every day she shares something. She will share scholarships. And so please, it's worth your while, because I always go there just to get scholarship for the students that reach out to me. Okay, I think that was about it. And I don't think she's going to be able to come because she's running a club right now as she's doing this meeting. I don't think she'll come back. You know,
okay, so you can post the information, Winifred.
Yeah, I will do that. I'm just trying to get the information. Just give me a minute.
Wait a few minutes for that before we close. So we still make good time. Lebari would like to say a very big thank you to you. Which secondary school did you go to, please? You're muted.
Federal Government Girls College. I went to Federal Government Girls College, Calabar.
Thank you. Thank you for coming and blessing us. QCOG.
My pleasure.
Yeah, and I'm sure some people will be reaching out to you. Can you maybe post your email address or contact details so that if you want to, anyone who wants to reach out to you, they could. Yeah, so Lebari's email address is in the chat and phone number. If you have further questions or need clarification in other areas.
Okay, so that is Sylvie's website. Okay, just go to this is a handle. Okay, so this is how to look for on Clubhouse because I use her services for my students. Sylvie Watikum, and this is her handle. And she's also on Instagram in case, I think I told Rachel that in case you cannot get onto Clubhouse, well, Clubhouse is open for both Android and iPhone users. So she also streams to Instagram when she's on Clubhouse, and she's actually on Clubhouse right now. So we just thank her for giving the time. So these are details. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Winifred. I'd like to thank Winifred. We're the same set, Queen's College. She's the one who gave us who connected us with the resource for Sylvie, and she's very passionate about scholarships and helping young girls access better opportunities, especially in science. So thank you, Winnie, our energetic Winnie. And I'd like to say thank you to our very, very, very efficient secretary, to Secretary of the ESCO, Ayo Nokoya. I trouble her all the time at the last minute.
You're welcome, Sylvie.
And she's obliged. Thank you very much. Thank you to everyone who joined us. And we look forward to having you on our other programs as well. This link will be on, this video will be on YouTube, on the Queen's College YouTube page. And we will forward the link on to as many people as possible who are interested in it. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you so much, Bimbo. Much appreciation. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Lebari. I'm going to call you in a minute.